Hi there, my name is Peter Davison, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell so you are notified when new videos drop. And I just had to make this video today. I do not have time to make it, but I absolutely had to make it. Today is the Jewish holiday of Purim, which the central observance of that holiday is you get drunk. Really drunk, so you can't tell the difference between good and evil. Also, the other thing is you got to go and give out these little gifts. So, little food gifts. There got to be two different types of food. Minimally, you give them, there's all these freaking rules. The reason Jews don't have Christmas trees because we'd have a book this thick on like how you, all the laws of having a Christmas tree. How big are the popcorn strings count? All these things. So there's all these laws about everything. Anyway, so you got to go and give these little presents out to everyone. So the roads are going to be clogged any minute in my local community, and I've got to go and give them out. Plus, I got to be at my friend's house at 11:30. It's 9 o'clock right now. I got to be at my friend's house at 11:30 for a massive piss up. That's before the afternoon piss up, which is going to start between 2 and 3. So I have a busy day, but I had to make this video. I just had to make this video because the Doctor Who ratings are in, and woo, they're either very good if you're somebody like me, or very bad if you're somebody who really liked this era of Doctor Who. Actually, you know who they're very bad for? Chris Chibnall. Not that he will, I think, they'll see any consequence to his epic failure. His really massive epic failure. But before we get into it, if you like independent voices here on YouTube, or, even if you dislike them, but you just happen to like this one, or if you don't like me at all, if you hate me, if you don't want me to say anything, but you just got to know what I'm going to say next, hit that subscribe button. Subscribe! Hit the subscribe button if you like me, if you dislike me, if you're ambivalent to me, just hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much. That is so incredibly appreciated. And I like to show you my appreciation. I said it's appreciated. I guess I'm going to show you. I give stuff away each week on this channel. The stuff I'm giving away this week is good Doctor Who, as opposed to this season, which I think was bad Doctor Who. But this, I think we can all agree, is good Doctor Who. The Awakening, a Peter Davison story from '83, written by Eric Sayward. I really like this story, actually. It's a very good one. All you have to do to win it is subscribe to the channel. Subscribing being the important part. And, that's the important one. And then leave the hashtag fire. Look in the video notes for all the instructions. I'm going to do the drawing on, March 15th when I'm on the TARDIS Zone. I think we're talking about Rose that week. And if you don't win, or even if you do win, I feel bad that people who enter and they don't win because I'm such a weedy hippie. So I want to have something there for everybody that you can have. So there's an audio adventure in the video notes as well that you can download, starring Nicholas Briggs as the Doctor from about mid-80s. It's a fan produced thing, but that fan group called Audio Visuals grew up to become Big Finish. Okay, let's talk about the ratings now. Listen, again. If this had worked out and I had hated it the way I hate it, like I really do hate this era, then I'll be fine. Okay, time to move on. This isn't for me. The world's moved on without me. Fine. I'll be sad. I would be sad, but I would be able to let go. That the British public, not the British public, the entire viewing public do not like this pap that you've been forcing down our throats. And for God's sake, stop pretending. Stop pretending you haven't been forcing an ideological agenda down our throats. And I think a reasonably vile ideological agenda. The truth is, just nobody shares it. Nobody shares your agenda. And that's not to say we're all Nazis. We're not all Nazis. I honestly, it's of no interest to me what somebody's skin color, their sexual preference is, like their gender, how they define them. I don't care. I think that's not how you evaluate somebody, and that's not how a decent person evaluates another human being. That is the way that how this Doctor evaluates people, and I think the supporters of this season. But thankfully, the supporters of this season have been told that they are. They are not popular. It's not, the British public has rejected, as the American viewing figures are even worse. American, I don't even have the figures in front of me, but I think they got under 300,000. Okay, so let's just talk about it, shall we? Let's go on to this chart on doing. Okay, so that's this year's ratings. You probably can't see, but we're going to go to it in a lot more detail. First, let's go through all the different terms here. Yeah, I do this in every video. Being knowledge is power, baby. So we have this one. The first one is the overnight. That's people who watched it on TV, on terrestrial TV, when it was shown. TV viewing habits have, of course, changed. So they also collect the consolidated ratings. That's people who watched it, wanted to catch up with it over the next 7 days. Then we have something a little bit more contentious: the final ratings. Now, the way they calculate that in 2020 is you do the 4-screen plus. That's people who watch it. So the other consolidated people who are watching on their computers, but this is people who are watching on their phones and iPads. I don't really understand the difference at all. But they didn't collect this data in Capaldi's era, which is the era that people compare it to. The data they collected instead was called the L28 days, which is this one, which is how many people have watched it on iPlayer 28 days later, which I guess it excludes watching it on phones and watching it on iPads. So this number is going to be significantly less than the L28 number for Jodie. So let's just look at the trends very quickly because there's a lot of fun to look at. Fine. Here's a chart. I haven't adjusted this much, but it's been, wow. My prediction was pretty darn good. I predicted they will get a 4.9 on the consolidated ratings. Yeah. And they got quite a bit less. I was being generous. But here, this chart shows you the blue line is Capaldi's season 10, and the purple line is Whittaker and Chibnall's season 12. And we can see it's less popular. Yeah, they would say, no, it's so popular, it's so much better, doing so much better than Capaldi, because they got a very strong opening episode, with the woman who fell to earth. Because people were interested to see what's going to happen. But here's the thing that's really, really bad for this era of Doctor Who. It's the slow bleed. It wasn't a quick bleed. It wasn't people like tuned in and went, oh, that's awful, go away. No, people tuned in and went, okay, I'm interested, like that. And then over 20 weeks of television, 21 weeks of television, they alienated over 60% of the audience. That shows you people wanted to stick around for it. People want Doctor Who. People want to like Doctor Who. And people want to stick around for it. But over 2 seasons, you've alienated most of your audience. And that's just the way it is. I'm sorry. And the way you alienated them is with this vile, disgusting agenda, which, and then, you say anybody who doesn't want to get on board with this agenda is a racist. No, I think you're the racist, okay? I think you are the biggest. If you're judging people by skin color, which Chris Chibnall clearly is, that's what the Timeless Children did. It judged people by skin color and gender. The entire function was to make the Doctor to be far less white and male. Vile. Utterly vile. And I'm so glad that that was your goal, your overwhelming goal. Then you felt it was so transparent, that you forgot to actually write engaging scripts. Now, I don't think you forgot to write engaging scripts. I don't think you can. I think this is outside of Chris Chibnall's wheelhouse. I just don't think he has the talent in any way to be able to produce Doctor Who. And it's quite clear, because this year he pulled out all the stuff. Last year they got a lot of negative feedback from season 11, so they did a complete turnaround from season 11. Instead of having no monsters and no villains and nothing returning, this year it was crammed full with member berries and things like, just crammed full. And then it just didn't work, did it? It didn't work. And it's not even like there was a lack of promotion. They promoted it very, very heavily. So, so the people who want to defend the season will go, the ratings don't matter anymore. Shut up. The reason I'm making this video, the reason all these videos are being made, the reason people are like rubbing this in your face is because of you. You spent the last 22 months telling us that we were bigots, that we were sexist, and we were out of step with the rest of the country. We were out of step with reality. You were telling us we were wrong, and this was incredibly popular, and okay, boomer. How many times have we heard that? Over and over and over again. And it turns out you were disingenuous arseholes who are full of shit. Didn't it? Isn't that how it turned out? And that's Chris Chibnall? Yeah, that's what it turned out. I'd love to see Chris Chibnall's face when he saw these ratings. Because, honestly, has anybody ever fucked up as much as Chris Chibnall has fucked up with Doctor Who? Really? And I forgive my language. But has anybody in the history of TV failed as massively as Chris Chibnall have? I don't think so. I mean, I think they must have done. I mean, El Dorado was a pretty massive hit, but you took a beloved rating smash, and made people not angry. You made the core fan angry at it, but no, you made the British public, something who loved it, who absolutely loved this thing, disinterested in it, and that's something that we're going to go on to demonstrate. So let's look at this big comparison that, and I added in another episode. The people who support this era, they love to compare an episode. Was it episode 11? Was it 10 or 11 of season 10? With and they used to use that as their benchmark because that was the lowest rated episode. Now that episode was on Saturday night, not Sunday night. It was let's just see how they're not different. So on Saturday night, a much harder TV landscape. It was in June, in a particularly hot June, not in February, a particularly cold, wet February. Which I'm saying. People had to stay indoors because the weather was so terrible. So you had fantastic weather where everybody left the house, and you had terrible weather where everybody had to stay in. You had the Saturday night time slot, which continued to move. Capaldi never had a solid time slot, whereas the Whittaker has been solidly for her entire run 7 o'clock on Sunday. 7 o'clock on Sunday, and supported by two more popular shows, Country File and called The Midwife. But this era Doctor Who is so repellent, it actually it repels 600,000 people. They watch Country File. They go, oh, go Country, and I've watched Country File. It's one of the most boring shows I've ever seen in my life. But okay, they watch Country File. Doctor Who comes on. 600,000 people would rather do anything else, literally anything else, rather than watch Doctor Who. And then it's not that they don't like TV, because then they come back for Call the Midwife. So let's imagine an average household. They're watching Country File, and oh, look at this, we can go for walks up and down country paths. That sounds lovely. And then Doctor Who comes on, and then one guy looks at another, husband looks to his wife, and she says, well, do you want to watch Doctor Who, or would you rather have a violent rectal probe with a rusty implement from an AIDS ward? Would you rather do that? What would you rather? Would you rather have your rectum probed without anaesthetic, or would you rather watch Doctor Who? And they go, let me think. Now, Doctor Who's on TV, but having my rectum probed, that is anything else. That fits in the category of anything. So I'm going to go for the violent rectal probe, okay? So they go for the violent rectal probe, and they go, oh God, I really hate this. This is terrible. They're not enjoying the rectal, but he says, but at least I'm not watching Doctor Who. They finished the rectal probe, and I guess they bandaged him up a little bit, give him some cotton water, soak up the copious bleeding that was the violent probing that did cause. And so they do that, and then he goes, whoa, you know what I can do now? I fancy a bit of telly. Is Doctor Who still on? They go, yeah, okay, I'll have a cup of tea, and I'll wait. Fine, he has his cup of tea, Doctor Who finishes, okay, let's watch Call the Midwife. And that is what happens in most households in America. So what they know, they like to make this very disingenuous comparison. Oh, and the most important thing, the most important factor that we're not putting in, these terrible ratings, these lowest ratings in the modern era, these terrible, terrible ratings weren't a middle of the season show. No, it was a season finale that was heavily promoted. The viewing public don't care. The viewing public are bored by you. The viewing public don't like Space Greta Thunberg. Here's the thing. Most people don't like Greta Thunberg, even if you happen to think climate change is an important thing. Which, okay, fine. And a lot of most people don't like Greta Thunberg because she's an idiotic child who's scolding people who know a lot more than her. That's why. And, that's how we feel about this. That's not how we feel. That's how the British public feel about Doctor Who. So let's look at this comparison, which they love to compare. Let's start over here. And we'll go doink. Okay, there we go. Let's look at it. So at the top we have Eaters of Light, the lowest rated episode up until now. So the overnight for Eaters of Light was 2.89 million. Very low. Again, June. Saturday night in June. Fantastic weather. Everybody was out. But people did still like Capaldi, so they rushed to catch up with it before the next episode. How do we know that? because the consolidated ratings was 4.73. That is just shy of 2. Let me do the math. Why am I trying to do it in my head? Because I'm not a great mathematician. So let's do 4.73 minus 2.89. So 1.84 million people wanted to catch up before the next week's episode. And then after 28 days later, we had another, quite a lot, another 400,000 people watch it. So that's quite a lot. So let's compare that to the Timeless Children. So you had 378 million people watch it overnight. Well, okay, far more than Eaters of Light. Again, stormy, cold weather, rainy weather in February compared to beautiful hot summer's day in June. So then, how many people wanted to see it on the consolidated ratings? These awful consolidated ratings. Doing the math, minus 3.78 equals 0.77 million. They didn't even get a million. That's pretty darn bad. That is pretty dumb. So you think, but wait a minute. You look at the four screen figure. That's bound to add on. That's bound to add on something. No, not really. Not much. It adds on. Was it 140,000? That was it plus 0.14. Yeah, still at 0.91 million. Pathetic, utterly pathetic, because they alienated everyone else. So I put a much more fair comparison, which was season finale. So again, although it's not that fair, because again, compared to season finale was in June, July, beautiful weather, on a Saturday night on a floating time slot, compared to Whitaker's cushy Sunday night 7 o'clock solid time slot. So the overnights were 3.78 for Timeless Children, not bad, compared to 3.75 for the Doctor Falls. Okay, so it beat the overnights. And I bet they've been waving that flag, for the last week. Well, time's up, baby, because let's see what happens next. So then on the overnights, it goes up to 5.29. So it's just trouncing it in every metric possible. So I've been looking at the data for what the L28s are going to be for season 12, and on average they add between 300 and 500,000 viewers. So I've been really generous, and I've added that's to the consolidators. So I added 500,000 to the consolidators, and you come out with 5.05 million. The lowest rated episode for a season finale. For a season freaking finale that was heavily promoted compared to the bell caster seasons, they normally dip. It's like a U. They go woo. It's they start high. Just trying to work out where to put my finger. They start high, and I'm going to do this counterintuitively. So go this, start high, go low, and they get high again. Okay, good. So it was at the bottom of the dip, the 5.12, not the season finale. This is just a complete and utter failure. The AI was actually better than normal for Whitaker era who it was 82, but still that's nothing to write home about. So again, it's failed. So what to do now? Really, what to do now? And there are talks of all these different campaigns to beg the BBC to reconsider, but I think the BBC are the wrong target. I really do. I don't think they're going to listen, because they don't have to. And they're coming under a lot of pressure with their license fee, and that's great. That I think is a good attack to make them to put a campaign to defund them, because I have them have to rely on entertaining the British public rather than lecturing them. Have to rely on that. But I had a better idea. You know who we should be lobbying? Lobbying. You know who we should be lobbying? HBO. HBO Max. HBO knows what a upset fandom can do. Remember Game of Thrones last year? I bet they do, where they're like $billion franchise, then went fell apart. I think we need to find the executives in HBO who can bring pressure on the BBC. Let's tell them, look, HBO Max, you've got a fantastic service, and we in the Doctor Who fandom want to support you. We want to beat the drum for your streaming service, and we will do it. We will absolutely do it. We will be your ally. We will be one of you. We will be free advertising for you. Please help us. We want to subscribe to you, but we cannot subscribe to this. You buying Doctor Who to be exclusive on your platform was a great idea. And I love it. As a Doctor Who fan, I'm looking forward to subscribing to you. But I can't subscribe to this nonsense, to this pap. I want to give you my money. And there's a legion of fans who want to give us your money. Please help us. Please help us. Bring pressure on the BBC. Have them make Doctor Who that people like. Yeah, that's really the bottom line. I don't think Chibnall can do it. I think Chibnall has to leave. I think he's proved himself to be a failure. And after that, I think the idea for there being a female doctor, I was on board for. I like, but I think the well has been poisoned. I really do. Why do I think it? Because you got the lowest ratings ever. That's why. Oh, bloody idiots. So yeah, and again, if you love this era, good for you. I'm glad that you liked it. I'm sorry. It's a failure. It's failed. That's just the reality. Don't struggle against reality because it's reality. My name is Felix Beck, and the rabbit from another planet. The rabbit that has to go and give out little presents, schlock, and then go get blind drunk. So, my name is Felix Beck, and the rabbit from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe. If you can subscribe, that would be a little pouring miracle for me. Thank you very much. Have yourself a fantastic day.